All right, so I've recorded the content that was coming from my external MIDI device. I have everything here is audio. What I'd like to do now is try to arrange all these different parts in some sort of way. Now, let me go ahead and step back a bit. Everything that I've recorded has been recorded into one pattern. Below the function button, we see it says pattern, and if I press this, this is the pattern slot we've been recording into. If we look underneath here, it says part 1, drums A01. So I'm in bank A and pattern 01. Now I could take this pattern and I could copy it. When I'm not in the grid recording mode, I could hold function and then copy. That copies the entire pattern. I could go to the second pattern slot by holding pattern and pressing right there. And then I could hold function and paste this pattern here. And I can go through all these different patterns, copying and pasting, muting different things, changing stuff around if I want to, but that's not really what I'm going for. What I'd like to do is to be able to arrange this in some sort of way, but I really only want to use this one pattern. So let me go back to pattern A1, and I'm going to hold function and then go into the arranger. We see beneath pattern, it says arranger in red. So to access that, I have to hold function and then press that. Now in the arranger, we can arrange a series of patterns to play in a certain order and then trigger the next one. Or we can make a specific pattern play for a certain number of time and mute certain tracks. If we're dealing with a MIDI sequencer, we can transpose MIDI tracks. There's various ways that we can take a pattern and make it feel more like a song. So let's go ahead and start to edit an arrangement. Here it says end of arrangement because we haven't done anything. We haven't created an arrangement yet. We just have this one pattern. If I want to edit the arrangement, once I'm in the arrangement mode, the button above this button lights up. And then I can just hold function and press edit like I can do in every other section, function, edit. And now I'm specifically able to edit aspects of the arrangement. So I'm going to select edit here. It says the arrangement is empty, press function and down to insert a row. So I'm going to hold function and press down. And in row 000, we see it's going to play pattern A01. The master length of this pattern is 64 steps. So it's going to play from step 000, the very beginning, all the way up to step 64. And then that's it. It's not going to loop. It's not going to continue playing. It'll play that once and then our arrangement is over. If I left it like this, it would sound like. Now, the only reason we're hearing those other sounds is because I forgot that they're set to loop. So let me make sure that these other tracks are not going to loop once we're done. We go into my playback settings here, my playback setup, and yes, see, tracks 2, 3, and 4, I recorded those, loop is on. I want to make sure loop is off. There we go. All right, so now if I went back to that same scenario, we see there's the arranger row that we entered. It's just that one pattern. Now if we play it, it'll play for 4 bars. And then that's it, song's over. Now what I want to do is I want to be able to repeat this same pattern, but I want to change which tracks are playing as it repeats. So I have to go back into the arranger edit mode, function, edit. Edit's right there. And again, I'm just using this one pattern, pattern A1, but I want it to play and mute different sounds, different tracks as I go through my arrangement. Let me go ahead and I'm going to unmute track 3 right now. And I want to make it so that this is going to play twice. So if we look up at the top of the arrangement area, we see the arrangement row, the pattern, PAT, REP is for repetition. How many times is that pattern going to repeat? Well, I'd like this to start off playing twice, so that it's going to play for 8 bars instead of just 1. So I have my level knob over here. I'm adjusting it so it's going to repeat and it's going to play twice. But I don't want this to play with all the sounds enabled. What I think would be cool is to have this start with just the bass line. So I'm going to move over. We have T here, and we can transpose the MIDI tracks, but I'm not using the MIDI tracks right now. So I'm going to get out of that. We have B, so we can assign a different tempo for the different arrangement rows. But again, that's not what I'm trying to do. What I want is this area that says M. If I press yes here, it's going to allow me to mute different combinations of tracks for this particular row. Now I know that tracks 1, 2, 3, and 4, the first track is what I sliced. I'm going to mute that. The second track is the bass line. I want to keep that. Track 3 is that weird synth sound. Track 4 are the drums I sampled from Circuit. Track 7 and track 8 are the different static machines that have drums from the Octatrack. So this row is only going to play the bass line, and it's going to play that for 8 bars until we get to the next row. So I'm going to go to the first row. If I could double tap stop, it brings me to the beginning of the arrangement. Let me press play now. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think it would be cooler to maybe just have this play once. And then I'm going to insert another row. So hold function and press down. And on this second row, we go over to the mutes here. And here I'm going to bring in the sliced sample, which is at track 1. So, oops, go back to edit. Here we go. So if we play it from the beginning now, we're going to have just the bass line play for 4 bars. The next row is going to bring in that sliced sample. All right. Okay. So what I want to do now, let me insert one more row here. And in this row, we're going to make it so that the kick and snare from the Octatrack on track 8 are going to play. And then below that, I'll insert another row. And what's nice is that it's keeping the mutes from the previous row. So if I want to just keep adding one sound at a time, it's very easy to do that. So in this row, I'm going to bring in the hi-hats. And let's see, then let's go down one more row. In this row here, we're going to bring in the sampled drums from circuit. And we'll let this row play for 8 bars. So I'll go to my repetition area here, make this play twice. And let's see. All right, so we're going to enter one more row here. And on this next row, I will bring in the synth sound here. And maybe I'll drop out the drum or drop out the bass. And let's do one more row here. Yeah, we'll let that play twice. That's fine. We'll do one last row. Did I press the right button? Yes, I did. Okay. And then for this one, I'm just going to drop everything else back out except for the bass line and the sliced audio. And we'll just have that play for 4 bars. So this is our arrangement, and this has all come from one pattern. So let me get out of the well, actually, let's play through it first and just determine if we like it. Once we like it, then we can save the arrangement, and we have a little bit of a song that's somewhat kind of formulated here. So from the top. Okay, so that's our little tune right there, and I'm quite pleased with that. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. Let me go back into my edit mode here, and we can rename the arrangement, and we'll just call this, I don't know, tutorial. There we go. Tut, King Tut. There we go. And we'll go ahead and save it. Save it to the CF card. Yes. Yes, I want to save that. So my arrangement has now been saved. And there we go. So very easy way for us to take a pattern and transform it into something that feels a lot more like a song, or at least give it a bit more structure and movement.